Carp fans, it's Tales for Wales here for Team Catch and Release. Actually, believe it or not, in Wales. I'm on my local syndicate, the Birch Syndicate. We're going to be starting doing what I like to call my winter diaries. It's going to be me fishing throughout the winter, showing you different tactics I use on the winter on the birch fishery. So, been here about half an hour now, just got the rods out. We get a bit of local gen by the fishery manager, so I'm going to take that advice on board, and I'm going to come up here, come all the way around the other side of the lake to a little swim called Heaven's Corner. It's just been given a new platform and everything, so we now can get out onto the spots. By rights, there's been fish showing up this end of the lake all the time. It's a couple of boys down to my left hand side as I fish. I've had 2 fish, I believe was said, in the last day or 2. So hopefully they're up here by all rights, so fingers crossed. Got the rods out, nothing special. I've got a pop-up, bottom bait and a snowman, just to give me a bit of variance, see what happens. Not fishing over a lot of bait at the moment, so just going to see what happens. So we're going to get home set up now, get nice and cosy, and hopefully the next time you see me I'll have a brew in hand, or maybe a lump in hand, you never know. But until then, we'll catch up with you in a bit. Till later, Team Catch and Release, Tales for Wales. Here about 45 minutes now, roughly, so it's about 3:30 now, and I've had one. Excellent, absolutely beautiful, stunning mirror carp, 18 pound 2, proper scaly one. Had a little bit of damage on the side of it, we repaired that and sent that back. Off to enjoy yourself. Taking on a marginal rod on the right hand side, which I'll show you later on in the clips now, and yeah, just it's locked up. I say it pulled tight. I was actually catapulting baits over the top of it as it went. Pulled tight, locked up, bent round. Wiped my other 2 rods out because I am fishing tips up to get over a little close in weed bed, but it absolutely smashed me up. Came in quite nicely actually, and then got it in the net, and it's the angriest fish in the world. So brilliant. Didn't get any film because I didn't have anything set up in the swim, to be honest with you. Luckily one of the lads came around from the opposite corner of the bay to take some photos, some cracking photos, proper old school looking ones. So yeah, well happy. Rods have gone back out straight away, and I'm just going to have a bit of something to eat now and a cup of tea. I'm dying. But home is set up, looking good. One fishing, it means I ain't going to blank this session. It's the start of the winter diaries. So I'm going to go through some baits and some tactics and bits and pieces that I'm using later in the rigs. But until later on, so see you soon. Team Catch and Release. I don't know if it's just going to pick up at all. It's about 5:30, 5:45 now, and just had another one. Fingers up, thumbs up even. Bit of an early morning wake up call, bit of a screamer. It's nothing massive. 16 pound. Common, really pretty. Apart from it looked like it had been bashed by a pike on the back of its tail, both sides, sort of, you'll see in the pictures, sort of a U-mark. Lesson number 2 I've been learned though, I need some sort of area lighting for filming, otherwise you get the classic torch to the dorsal fin picture, not the greatest. But rods are back out, and yeah, doing happy. It's a good start to the winter sessions. It means that you get to see fish, it means that I get to have a few hopefully through the night now. So brew, maybe a pasty, treat myself, go mad, and see you in the morning. We'll do another little update and show you on the swim. Till then, speak to you later. Morning of day 2 on Birch, the winter diaries blog. So as you saw in the night, I did have one. I checked the filming after I woke up this morning. Obviously not the greatest, the old shining light through the dorsal, cracking video, not. But we live, we learn, so area lights on a shop in this now. So hopefully we can get some night video in as well, because as fantastic as the cameras I'm using for video, it doesn't actually do anything in the night for video cameraing. So little sit rep, a little situation report here. I'm going to show you on the swim later on when the light comes up a little bit more. You can see the spots a little bit better. But I keep looking up because this fish showing. Wind's still pushing nicely down into the corner. I've had to recast the two rods, the left and the middle rod, obviously because of the fish I had last night yet again. So I'm fishing tips up to get over that close in weed bed. When the fish come in close, they're clipping the lines and taking them, and I don't want the thought that the hook's being pulled into something. So I'd rather recast in the dark and be happy and go to sleep happy than risk it for a biscuit, for want of a better term. So yeah, weather's looking good. It stayed clouded in overnight, so it's still quite warm, and the wind is warm that's pushing up here, which is a bonus. So we have seen fish bosh around. One of the anglers around the bay had two last night, so you know they're definitely holding up in this area at the moment. It's all about keeping them up here. They like their feed even now into the winter months. They do like their feed. So probably put out another ½ kilo of bait. My winter bait, which I'll go through later, my winter spawn mix, which is just a mixture of hemp and corn, etc. But we'll go through that later. And the boilies. So fingers crossed, all being well. There's the famous whistle of the phone, as everyone seems to pick up on the videos how many whistles of my phone, generally the missus. So yeah, I think it's bacon bap time, brew time, and the traps are set really. I'll leave them in for the afternoon. One of the boys will come around later, might catch him on camera, top lad. So fingers crossed, and we might get a little interview later with the fishery manager, all being well. See what happens. Until then, catch you later. Afternoon, day 2, about 2 o'clock. I've actually rested the swim for a couple of hours whilst I went around to talk to one of the boys about his swim and what's going on with him over there. So I left it because as I'll show you in a minute, I'm in quite a tight little bay with 2 rods in it, but that's where the fish are. So I don't want to put too much pressure on it, so I have put bait in it and left it and gone away for a couple of hours to give it a bit of a rest. As you can see, this is the Birch Lake from where I am in what's called Heaven's Corner. I just left it for a few hours. Now I've put the lines back in on top of it. So that's 2 rods, and I say we're on 3 rods of water, so I have actually got 2 over a bit of bait. Not loads, but enough to keep the fish interested. And then just off the tips of the rods, as you look at it, but it's probably about 40 yards out, just about here. So as you can see there, you can see quite clearly hemp and corn feature quite, not heavily, and it's just enough to get a bite really. What is attraction, obviously they pick out the little smaller bits. Probably made about 5-6 kilos of it, and it's only got 1 small tin of corn in there and 1 small pot of the chili hemp. So it's based on a fish meal and crushed maize ground bait. And so what I do is add quite a bit of salmon oil to get it to like the inert stage, so actually as it hits the water it sinks through the column. Some parts of it are quite light and fluffy. I actually add a bran mix to it, so if I do want to use zigs in the winter, because sometimes up here, believe it or not, in the winter you can have good results on the zigs, so it does actually flutter through but will eventually settle on the bottom. Then you've got the heavier feed items, 2 or 3 different types of pellet, the corn and the hemp obviously sit dead on the bottom straight away. So if you do want to fish, then bottom baits over your zig mix in the night, then that possibility is there for you. So, you've seen it all before. I'm not teaching you to suck eggs, but I said the addition of the salmon oil that I actually get from an equestrian centre is the closest, cheapest I've found it really, and it's a pure salmon oil. So it is quite a fishy, stinky mix, obviously, to go with the fish meal based boilies that I'm using. So it works all together. Can use it as a bag mix because everything I've used in there is obviously PVA friendly as well. So just maybe use it, maybe don't. Take some bits from it, take some of the bits out. I don't actually put any crushed boilies in there because I actually feed chopped boilies, so I'd rather than be picking up chunks of boilie and have the smell of the mix in there as well. So something a little bit different, and but there we are. That's what that does. As you can see, still blowing a bit of a hoolie out there. So it's actually calmed down quite a bit over the last sort of quarter of an hour. So fingers crossed. I'll put a bit of bait out now over the little bay that I showed you earlier. Probably 2-3 kilos of mix with boilies and with that spod mix. And I've just been feeding boilies out over the old area over there. But I said the pressure's starting to get up now. There's 5 or 6 anglers now moved in along down the bank there. So we shall see what happens. Another one would really top the trip off. Just see what happens. Catch you later. There we are. The old faithful combi rig. Left the knot untied there, so unputtied there, so you can actually see how neat that knot forms. But just what I'm trying to show you, winter tactics. We all like stringers, etc, etc. What I've started to do is, I think I've seen Chili Chilcott use it, the old, what I'm now calling the knuckle duster bag. So you've got a little bag of freebies as opposed to a stringer, and then you're actually piercing through one of the baits, and I've got a little bit of ESP cord on the bottom end of it there, so it bounces up nicely, and then just loop the hook through a little bit there, so it's never ever going to tangle because that hook link isn't going anywhere. The actual bait isn't spinning around, it's actually tethered into the bag. So I mean, for winter fishing, when you want to check it out and know that it's hit bottom perfect every time, there we are, just a little hint, a little tip for you. And but there we are, ever faithful comrade. Start to use a sinker now, just to pin it down because I know I'm fishing on the hard spots. And the overhand not covered by a bit of tubing. But yeah, definitely give that a whirl, because I mean, it's 100% confidence thing. I'm the most unconfident angler at times, and that has helped me loads. I know that when that lands, that hook is always going to be clear, there's baits are going to be around it, and then you've got your little top sighter. So just a little tip there, and going to get these out now for the night. See you later. Good morning. It's the last morning now, and it's been an absolutely punishing night. Massive gusts of winds blowing the rods all over the place, blowing alarms. I had to completely slacken the bobbins just to get some kip basically, and unfortunately kip is what I did get. Just been round to next door, and he's mid pack up, he's been blown inside out, it's hacking. So yeah, not the best night, but we did have the 2 fish, so promising. I've got another hour really before I pack up, got to get home quick in fact. So yeah, winter diaries, we're not always expecting fish, so I was happy with the 2 that I have had. And I said that 18 was an absolute stunner. I know they're still in this area, so I'm going to put a bit of bait in before I leave, because as I said, I am going to fish over bait this winter, and try and keep them in the areas that I know should be free in the winter, because obviously this is the other side of the lake. Not many people like to travel around a lot, they do like to stay on the house bank. But we shall see what happens. I say, hopefully you'll stick with me, and hopefully there'll be a lot more. And I got a family week next week, meeting my little baby cousin. So, cousin, what am I talking about? My niece, my little niece. So, I shall be at home this next week, but I'll be keeping an eye on the lake through the fishery manager and a few of the boys up here as well. I'll keep you up to date. Until then, it's been a good session, and catch you later. Tails for Wales, Team Catch and Release.